I think people are underestimating how good the Minnesota Timberwolves could potentially be this season. Looking at the roster, it's a lot different than years before. First up, we got to talk about the new guy in town, Julius Randle. Julius Randle had a wild ride last season. After a rough start where he averaged just 13.7 points over 6 games, he quickly turned things around and showed us why he's a 2-time All-Star. I mean, can you believe he was limited by pain and still managed to post numbers like 24 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game? That's just insane. Despite those struggles early on, Randle didn't just bounce back. He absolutely exploded. By mid-February, he was back in the All-Star game, proving that the narrative of him being in a slump was totally off. His per 36 minutes numbers were mind-blowing too. Randle scored 24.3 points and grabbed 9.3 boards, which puts him in elite company with the likes of Giannis, LeBron, and Curry. Talk about a resurgence. It's crazy to think he played only 46 games, the least since his rookie season, yet his impact was undeniable. Randle shot an impressive 47.2% from the field and had a true shooting percentage of 56.9. Those are some fantastic stats for a guy who was supposed to be slumping. I mean, just look at those numbers. He's an absolute beast on the court. Now, with Randle moving to the Timberwolves alongside Anthony Edwards after the trade, I can't help but feel excited. These two are going to be a dynamic duo. Edwards is already an explosive scorer, and pairing him with Randle gives Minnesota an incredible 1-2 punch. Imagine the pick and roll options they'll have. Randle can score inside, and with his improved outside shooting, he's going to stretch the floor. Edwards can attack the rim, knowing Randle's there to clean up any misses or even kick it out for an open 3. The Timberwolves are going to benefit from Randle's versatility. He's not just a scorer. He can facilitate plays too. Averaging 5 assists per game is no joke. Randle can help distribute the ball, making sure Edwards and the rest of the squad get their touches. I'm telling you, this is the kind of teamwork that can elevate Minnesota to another level. Let's not forget about the defensive end. Randle can hold his own and grab those rebounds like a pro. His presence in the paint will be crucial, especially in the Western Conference, where every game counts. Randle's ability to guard multiple positions will make the Timberwolves' defense tougher and more versatile. And it gets even better. Randle's experience and leadership will be a huge asset for the young Timberwolves team. He's been through the ups and downs, and his ability to stay calm under pressure will help Edwards and others grow as players. The more they play together, the more chemistry they'll build. I can already see them complementing each other's games beautifully. So, if you're a Timberwolves fan, get ready for some exciting basketball. With Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards teaming up, I can't wait to see what they'll accomplish together. Their combined talent is going to light up the court and bring a whole new energy to Minnesota. But it wasn't just Randle they added in the trade. They got my boy Dante. It's clear the Knicks needed someone like him to step up their game, and he delivered. Now, I won't lie, early in the season, he struggled a bit. He started off the bench behind Quentin Grimes and averaged just 9.1 points per game in the first 20 games. He shot around 42% from the field. And while he did hit 2 threes per game, he was also turning the ball over too much. Not exactly the explosive start we'd hoped for, right? But everything changed on December 8th. That's when Dante moved into the starting lineup. Fans thought it'd be a game changer, but it took a little time to find his rhythm. From December 8th to the 29th, he only averaged 10.6 points, and the team's defense suffered a bit without Grimes. But then came December 30th, the day everything flipped. In a game against the Indiana Pacers, Dante exploded for a jaw-dropping 38 points. He shot an incredible 15 of 21 from the field and knocked down 7 of 11 from 3. Talk about a statement game. Even though the Knicks lost that match, we got a glimpse of his potential as a game-changing shooter. From that moment on, he never looked back. Dante found his groove and became a vital part of the Knicks' identity. After that explosive performance, he played in every game, missing just one the rest of the season. His average skyrocketed to 19.2 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. He shot 44% from the field and an eye-popping 39% from beyond the arc, taking about 10 threes a game. That's the kind of high-volume shooting the Knicks desperately needed. He finished the season averaging 15.5 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.7 assists, while shooting 44.3% from the field and 40.1% from 3. He even set franchise records for three-pointers made in a single game, draining 11 against the Detroit Pistons. That's the kind of history I love to see. But it didn't stop there. In the playoffs, he had some ups and downs. But when it mattered most, he showed up. After struggling in the first game against the Sixers, he knocked down the game-winning three-pointer in one of the most memorable moments in Knicks history. And in Game 6, he exploded for 23 points, helping the Knicks advance. His playoff average was nothing short of impressive, too. 22.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.6 assists in the second-round series against the Pacers. Even though the Knicks' season ended earlier than we hoped, Dante proved he was a crucial piece of the team. Overall, it was an incredible season for Dante. He played in 81 games, giving the Knicks the spacing and elite shooting they needed. His defensive effort was impressive too. I can't wait to see how he continues to impact this team going forward. Dante is definitely someone we should all keep our eyes on. Now, what he's going to bring to the Timberwolves, man, it could be crazy. When's the last time they had a role player who could score the ball like this? But besides the two guys they got from New York, how can we not talk about the rest of the squad they already have? Starting with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards had an incredible season last year, and honestly, it was just the beginning. I mean, can you believe he was named the NBA Western Conference Player of the Week for the first time on November 13th, 2023? He absolutely dominated that week, leading the Minnesota Timberwolves to a perfect record of 4 wins and 0 losses. He averaged an insane 31.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, 6.8 assists, and 2 steals. That's some superstar level performance right there. Fast forward to January 27, 2024, and Edwards put on a show again, dropping 32 points, 6 rebounds, and a career high 12 assists against the San Antonio Spurs. Talk about stepping up when it counts. Then, just a few days later, he snagged his second All-Star Game selection as a Western Conference reserve. It's clear that he's not just a player, he's becoming a key figure in the league. But wait, it gets even better. On April 9th, Edwards exploded for a jaw-dropping 51 points in a thrilling win over the Washington Wizards. Can you imagine that? 51 points. That's the kind of game that makes you jump out of your seat. At the end of the season, he was named to the All-NBA second team for the first time. Just wow. And let's not forget the playoffs. In Game 4 of the first round against the Phoenix Suns, he scored 31 of his 40 points in the second half. He also grabbed 9 rebounds and dished out 6 assists, helping the Timberwolves secure their first playoff series win in 20 years. That's huge. He even broke Kevin Garnett's record for the most 30-point playoff games in Timberwolves history, with 8 games. Then, in the Western Conference semifinals, Edwards scored a playoff career high of 43 points against the Denver Nuggets. That game marked him as one of only 2 players in NBA history, along with the legendary Kobe Bryant, to have consecutive 40-point games at age 22 or younger in the postseason. Talk about a historic achievement. In Game 4 of that same series, Edwards went off again, posting 44 points, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. And in the Western Conference Finals, he nearly recorded a triple-double with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. It's clear he was ready to carry the team on his back. Now, with Julius Randle joining him, I'm telling you, this season is going to be something special. Randle's physicality and skill complement Edwards' explosive style perfectly. They're going to create a dynamic duo that defenses won't know how to handle. I can already picture the highlight reels, with Edwards slicing through defenses while Randle creates space and opportunities. The Timberwolves are primed for an even better season, and I can't wait to see how good Anthony Edwards becomes next to Randle. So buckle up, folks. This season's gonna be electric. Edwards is ready to take the league by storm, and I'm here for every moment of it. And it wasn't only Edwards who had an elite season too. Rudy Gobert did the exact same thing. Rudy Gobert was an absolute beast last season, and I'm telling you, he's just getting started. On December 2nd, he dropped a season-high 26 points on 10 of 12 shooting, grabbed 12 rebounds, and had 3 blocks in a big win over the Charlotte Hornets. That's the kind of game that shows Gobert isn't just about defense. He can dominate on both ends of the court when needed. But let's be real, his defense is what makes him one of the best ever. Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year for the 4th time last season. Can you believe that? He's now tied with Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace for the most Defensive Player of the Year awards in NBA history. That's legendary company right there. He anchored Minnesota's defense, which was ranked number 1 in the league. If you watched the Timberwolves play, you saw how much of a game changer Gobert was, swatting shots, altering every attempt near the rim, and grabbing rebounds like a man possessed. He's not just a shot blocker, he's a defensive mastermind. Now, One moment that really stood out was when Gobert missed a significant playoff game against the Denver Nuggets on May 7th because of the birth of his child. That's a huge life moment for him. But guess what? Even without him, the Timberwolves took a 2-0 series lead over the defending champs. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns stepped up, both scoring 27 points, and the team held the Nuggets to just 34.9% shooting from the field. That's how strong the foundation Gobert built was. His presence was felt even when he wasn't on the court. The Timberwolves made it all the way to the conference finals, which was huge for the franchise. Unfortunately, they ran into Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. Luka hit the game-winning shot over Gobert in Game 2, but man, what a battle it was. Gobert was giving it everything he had out there, trying to carry Minnesota to their first finals appearance in forever. It didn't happen this time, but with the experience and lessons learned from last season, you just know he's going to come back even better this year. And let's not forget, this will be Gobert's second season, playing alongside Anthony Edwards. That connection is going to be deadly. Edwards is growing into a superstar, and having a defensive anchor like Gobert backing him up is a game changer. They've had a full season to figure each other out, and I can already picture the highlight plays. Edwards dunking on one end, Gobert swatting shots on the other. It's going to be electric. Gobert is only going to get better. He's more comfortable now in Minnesota. He knows his teammates better. And with another year playing alongside Edwards, the Timberwolves are going to be a force. Gobert's defense is as elite as it gets. And with that growing chemistry on offense, this season is going to be something special. Gobert and Edwards, that's a duo that's ready to take the league by storm. And besides the two of them, they have one of the best defenders in the NBA. Jaden McDaniels was absolutely incredible last season, and I can't wait to see how he builds on that this year. After breaking his hand in a frustrating last game of the regular season, he missed the playoffs. That moment stung, especially as he watched his teammates fall short against the Nuggets. But man, did he come back with a vengeance? In the first two playoff games last season, McDaniels was a defensive beast. He was all over Jamal Murray, making it super tough for him to get his shots off. It's like every time Murray thought he had a clear path, bam, there was McDaniels, towering over him with those long, sinewy arms. Watching him play defense is honestly mesmerizing. It's like he's an ice skater gliding over the court, effortlessly keeping his opponent on their toes. What makes McDaniels stand out even more is how he's learned from his past mistakes. Remember that moment when he punched the wall? He took that pain and turned it into motivation. Instead of letting frustration dictate his game, he's been working hard to control his emotions. This season, he's been talking to a psychologist to help visualize tricky situations. During the playoffs, he faced some tough matchups against players like Kevin Durant. He knows he's got a target on his back, and it fuels him. The way he challenged Durant and made him adjust his shots, that's the kind of intensity you want to see in a player. Even when he struggles with scoring, his defensive presence is undeniable. His ability to keep opponents guessing is what sets him apart. McDaniels has already shown flashes of brilliance on the offensive end too. Last season, he worked on his mid-range game, but I know he's got more to give. He's been focusing on improving his three-point shooting as well, even if it wasn't super consistent last season. But here's the thing, he's still learning how to fit into the team's offensive scheme. The more he plays, the more comfortable he'll get. And let's not forget about how he can contribute when it counts. In those critical playoff moments, when the pressure is high, McDaniels thrives. He's already made huge strides in keeping his head cool under pressure, and you can feel that growth in his gameplay. He knows what it means to step up for his team, and I believe he's going to bring that intensity every single night this season. Looking ahead, I'm excited to see how McDaniels continues to evolve. He's not just a defensive powerhouse, he's becoming a well-rounded player who can impact the game in multiple ways. With his work ethic and dedication, I believe he'll be even better this season. I can't wait to see him unleash his full potential on the court. And then filling out the starting lineup, we got the vet, Mike Conley. Last season, Mike Conley proved he still got it. He averaged an impressive 11.6 points per game. That's solid for a point guard. He also grabbed 3.9 rebounds and dished out 5.7 assists. I mean, come on. Those are fantastic numbers. His field goal percentage was 42.8, which shows he can still find ways to score. Whether it's from deep or driving to the hoop, he knows how to get the job done. Watching him on the court is a treat. He brings this veteran presence that not only uplifts his game, but also inspires his teammates. He's the kind of player who makes everyone around him better. Just think about his chemistry with the other guys on the team. Last season, he set up his teammates for easy buckets, time and time again. You could see how they fed off his energy, especially during those clutch moments. What's even more exciting is how he's going to take it up a notch this season. Conley's always been the kind of player who works hard to improve his game. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been grinding this offseason. With every year, he adapts and learns, and I can't wait to see what he's got in store for us. With his experience and skill set, he's bound to make an even bigger impact. He knows what it takes to win. The way he reads defenses is incredible. You know he's going to come back with that hunger to prove everyone wrong. He's not done yet, and let's talk about his health. Last season, he managed to stay on the court more consistently, which is huge, and it's contagious. I'm excited to see him lead the charge. Conley's going to make those key plays that swing games in our favor. I can already picture him hitting those clutch shots and facilitating the offense with pinpoint passes. He's a true floor general, and it's thrilling to think about what he can do this season, but it isn't just the starting lineup that's so good. The bench is stacked too. Of course, we have to start with the fan favorite, Naz Reid. Reid absolutely crushed it last season. Winning the 6th Man of the Year award is no small feat. He's the first Timberwolf ever to snag this honor, and he did it in style, with 352 points, edging out Monk by just 10 points. How crazy is that? It's even more impressive considering he's only 24 and an undrafted player. He's in some elite company now, joining the likes of John Starks and Darrell Armstrong. Let's talk numbers. Reid averaged 13.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. Those are solid stats for a guy coming off the bench. And did you see his shooting? He hit 169 three-pointers this season, surpassing his total from the previous 2 seasons combined. He shot an incredible 41.4% from beyond the arc. That's unreal for a big guy like him. During a crucial stretch from March 16th to April 10th, when Karl Anthony Towns was sidelined with an injury, he started 12 out of 13 games during that period. Talk about being ready when your numbers call. He averaged 17.1 points and 7.2 rebounds per game in those games. That's the second most points per game for the Timberwolves during that stretch, behind only Anthony Edwards. So how can he be even better this season? First off, his confidence is through the roof. Winning that 6th Man of the Year award is going to give him an extra boost. Plus, he's still so young, which means there's plenty of room for growth. He's shown he can stretch the floor with his shooting, so I expect him to continue improving his shot selection and decision making. Reid also has the potential to become a more versatile player. His ability to handle the ball like a guard while being 6'10" is a rare combination. If he works on his playmaking skills, we could see him become even more of a threat. Imagine him running the pick and roll or creating shots for his teammates. It would make him a nightmare for defenders. Let's not forget about his work ethic. I mean, this guy has already put in the time to improve his game, and it's paying off. If he keeps that drive and determination, the sky's the limit. With the Timberwolves looking to build on their success from last season, but it isn't just him coming off the bench. What about Alexander Walker? Last season, Alexander Walker absolutely shined with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Can you believe he played in all 82 regular season games? That's right, he made a huge impact, starting in 20 of those games, and became one of the few players in franchise history to accomplish this feat since the likes of Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Alexander Walker averaged 8 points, 2 rebounds, and a career-high 2.5 assists per game. His shooting percentages were impressive too. He shot 43.9% from the field and an incredible 39.1% from 3. I mean, that's some serious shooting, folks. One of the highlights of his season was that jaw-dropping performance against the LA Clippers. In that game, he dropped a season-high 28 points on 9 of 10 shooting. He even nailed 5 out of 6 three-pointers. It was his first 20-plus point game of the season and the 10th of his career. It's moments like that that make you realize just how good he can be. And let's not forget that stunning game against the Utah Jazz. He racked up 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, while also swiping a career-high 5 steals. That game was remarkable because it marked his first career 20-point, 5 rebound, and 5 assist game. Only 12 other players in franchise history have done that. It really shows he can contribute in so many ways, doesn't it? Now, looking ahead to this season, I'm super excited about what Alexander Walker can bring to the table. He's got the experience now, having played every game last season, which will only make him better. With that level of consistency, I can see him being a key player for the Timberwolves. Imagine how much more confident he'll be knowing he's capable of such performances. With his shooting touch improving and his playmaking skills on display, it's clear he's not just a role player anymore. He's poised to take that leap into a more significant role. I think he'll be more aggressive on offense, which could lead to even bigger scoring nights. Plus, with that defensive tenacity, he's bound to make a difference on that end of the court too. Alexander Walker's versatility means he can play multiple positions and adapt to various game situations. I can see him being a go-to guy off the bench or even stepping up in the starting lineup when needed. His potential is limitless, and I genuinely believe he's only going to get better. But besides him, they also have two rookies I'm really excited about. First, Rob Dillingham. Rob Dillingham had an incredible season at Kentucky, and I can't get over how much he achieved. He was named the Southeastern Conference 6th Man of the Year. And let's not forget, he made the All-SEC second team. That's some serious recognition. Dillingham played 32 games and averaged 15.2 points, 3.9 assists, and 1 steal per game. He shot an impressive 47.5% from the field and an even more astonishing 44.4% from beyond the arc. He drained 64 three-pointers. I mean, this guy knows how to shoot. One of my favorite moments was his career-high 35 points against Tennessee. He not only scored big, but also showed up when it mattered, leading UK in scoring in 8 games. Can you believe he had double-digit scoring in 27 games, with 8 of those being over 20 points? He even took charge in crucial moments, scoring the last 12 points in that thrilling game against LSU. Now, as he heads to the Timberwolves, I truly believe he's going to elevate his game even further. With his shooting skills and playmaking ability, he's going to be a fantastic addition to the roster. I expect him to be a real difference maker off the bench, bringing energy and fire to the court. His experience at Kentucky will pay off big time, and I can see him stepping up in big games right away. Rob's ready to shine in the NBA, and I can't wait to see him light it up this season. It's going to be a blast watching him play. And the same could be said for Terrence Shannon Jr. Terrence Shannon absolutely crushed it last season at Illinois. He was named the University of Illinois Athlete of the Year and lit up the court as an NCAA All-Region Team selection. He even took home the Big Ten Tournament's Most Outstanding Player award. That's no joke. Shannon shattered the Illinois single-season scoring record with 736 points. He led his team with an incredible average of 23 points per game, ranking 2nd in the Big Ten and 3rd in the NCAA. Can you believe he had a mind-blowing 30-point game in the Sweet 16 against Iowa State? Plus, he tied the program's longest streak of 20-plus point NCAA tournament games. This guy can score. He set a Big Ten tournament record with 40 points in the semifinal win against Nebraska. Not only that, but he also reached 2,000 career points with a stunning 28-point performance. Watching him put up 25 points and grab 3 rebounds at Iowa was electric. Now, as he joins the Timberwolves, I'm telling you, he's going to be even better this season. With all that scoring ability and his knack for stepping up in clutch moments, I expect him to shine in the NBA. His talent is off the charts, and he's going to make a massive impact. Shannon's got the skills, and I can't wait to see him light up the scoreboard. The Timberwolves are lucky to have him. The Minnesota Timberwolves are set to elevate their game to new heights with the dynamic trio of Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. This combination brings together a perfect mix of talent, versatility, and experience that can truly transform the franchise into a formidable contender. Anthony Edwards is the real deal. With his explosive athleticism and scoring ability, he's already proven himself as one of the league's brightest young stars. Edwards can score from anywhere on the court and has the tenacity to attack the rim. He averaged over 24 points per game last season and showed a knack for stepping up in clutch moments. His growth continues to be impressive, and he's poised to take another leap forward this season. Imagine the highlight reel plays he'll create alongside Randle and Gobert. Speaking of Julius Randle, he's a powerhouse. Randle's strength and skill allow him to dominate in the paint and stretch the floor with his shooting. He averaged 24 points and 10 rebounds last season, showcasing his ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor. Randle's physicality in the paint will complement Gobert's elite rim protection, creating a formidable front court that can dominate opponents. Randle's passing ability also adds another layer to the Timberwolves' offense, making them even harder to defend. And let's not forget about Rudy Gobert. The 3-time Defensive Player of the Year is a game changer on the defensive end. Gobert's ability to protect the rim and clean up the glass is unparalleled. He averaged over 11 rebounds per game last season and his shot blocking skills create havoc for opposing offenses. With Gobert anchoring the defense, the Timberwolves will have a safety net that allows Edwards and Randle to play more freely on offense. His presence will elevate the overall defensive intensity of the team, making them a tough matchup for anyone. The synergy among Edwards, Randle, and Gobert is going to be electric. They complement each other's playing styles perfectly. Edwards' ability to create his own shot opens up opportunities for Randle to exploit mismatches. Meanwhile, Gobert's screening and roll game will set the stage for Edwards to attack the basket or kick it out to Randle for open threes. The offensive flow will be smooth, with each player understanding their role and maximizing their strength. Moreover, the Timberwolves' depth and supporting cast will also play a crucial role in their success. With players like Jaden McDaniels, the Timberwolves have the ability to switch seamlessly on defense and maintain scoring from the bench. This depth ensures that the starters can stay fresh and healthy throughout the grueling NBA season. Ultimately, the Timberwolves are on the brink of something special. With the explosive scoring of Anthony Edwards, the versatile skill set of Julius Randle, and the defensive prowess of Rudy Gobert, they're equipped to compete at the highest level. The chemistry they build together will be key, and I can't wait to see how they mesh on the court. They've got all the tools to become a playoff force and maybe even contend for a championship. The future is looking bright in Minnesota, and it's time for the Timberwolves to make some noise. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I'm going to be covering NBA every day during the season. Thanks.